Alright, I'm back again. 2002 Suzuki XL-7. I'm up to the cleaning before assembly part. And as you can see, this is a lot cleaner than it was. I still have the valve covers off, so I can't go crazy with, power washer or anything like that. So I'm using a steamer. I usually start off with the most harsh cleaner that I can use, which would be like brake clean. Then I move on to like a degreaser, like the gunk engine degreaser. And then I'll move on to what I discovered. Spray 9 is a pretty good product and it doesn't harm aluminum. So I'm a fan now. Spray it down with that. And each time you spray down with a product, you don't need to go crazy and like brush and scrub at each step, but you can. I mean, the more clean you want to get it, the more effort you put in. I'm trying not to go crazy. I'm kind of OCD with this, but I also don't want loads of moisture getting into my engine. So I'm trying to be careful with that too. Trying not to get my little lint-free towels too soaked. They're pretty soaked right now. But after the spray 9, I think I went with some like car wash solution that you would normally wash your car with, and then soapy water, and then you're down to like just plain water. So the way I do it is basically to just keep breaking down and loosening up the gunk that you have there. And by the time you get to the point where you want to wipe or scrub, the effort should be minimal because the chemicals did all the work for you. I did come across some other things, little tidbits, like anywhere you pull a hose from that was running coolant, you'll probably find corrosion. You can hit that with a little bit of not really rough sandpaper, but like, the 1000 grit or the wet dry sandpaper. It's not really very sandy. You don't really want to get any grit anywhere that can get into your cooling system, fuel system, oiling system. You want to keep everything clean. But yeah, as I find corrosion, which I found some on this little guy in here. These are the bypass hoses that I got off. Why I took the thermostat housing off in the first place, to get those hoses replaced. This inlet pipe has some corrosion on it. Basically, I'm gonna hit it with a little Evaporust, and then I'm gonna, give it a little scrubbing with maybe some brushes or some sandpaper. Like I said, you don't want to go crazy with the sandpaper because these are points that need to be sealed, and if you change the surface, you're gonna possibly damage the surface that needs to be sealed. If you create imperfections with your sanding, now the surface is no longer what it used to be, and when you try to seal it, it won't seal. So go with like the least gritty sandpaper you can go with. I used wet dry sandpaper. It didn't even have it almost feels like regular paper. It doesn't even really feel sandy when you touch it. But yeah, I'm just trying to get to any points that look like we're susceptible to corrosion. And while you're cleaning, try to address that as well. Because when you put stuff back together, you're not going to get to it again. And you want to be able to, like again, I'm not going crazy. Like certain things I'm not going to go crazy with. Like the inside of the outlet pipe. Got some flash rust there. That's your cooling system. Am I gonna go crazy? Antifreeze has anti-corrosion inhibitors in it, so I don't really have to go crazy with surface rust. It's not gonna damage the system just being surface rust. When you flush the system, that stuff's gonna come out, and quite frankly, anything that you can't get into and clean. You can see my inlet pipe down at the bottom. There's corrosion there on the outside. Everything else that I could see inside was very clean for the cooling system. So I'm assuming the parts that are not exposed to the outside are corrosion free. You look inside the pipes, they're pretty clean. You might have some scale, a little bit of scale, but I'm gonna flush this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go crazy with the vapor rust inside the cooling system. I've done it with another car before. It was fine, just to make sure that these cars are old, 2002. You don't know what's been changed and what's still from the factory, still like old. So you want to try and be diligent, but you don't have to go crazy. Flushing can be done at any time. You could flush when the system is back together. There's nothing to be done while it's apart. But these areas in here, you want to get it clean as you can before putting it back together, because there's no other chance to clean it other than I might hit it with a power washer still, because I'm just crazy. But just wanted to get this cleaned up before I start assembling everything back together. I'm still missing an O-ring I'm waiting on, so that slows me down and gives me more time to be overzealous with what I'm doing while I'm waiting. But the first thing going back in is going to be the thermostat housing. So I'm going to need my O-ring here. Part number I used, 36095 Felpro. Same O-ring here as you have on your outlet pipe. Still got some tape on this because I want to be able to tell which is the front and the back. Not that it matters, because I believe they're identical. They take the identical O-rings. O-rings, they're the same. So it doesn't matter. If you ever do this job, you're going to probably scratch that pipe up anyway, trying to twist it and pull it out from the thermostat housing anyway. So paint's not necessary. Rust remediation, I don't know how necessary that is. I just do it anytime I see it. If I see rust, I'm going to go after it because it kills cars. And I love cars. Anyway, I'll be back.